Welcome to another exciting edition of the $1 Million Peddlers. I'm Papergoy.
And I'm Mr. Magazine.
And every Saturday we try to bring you BOLO videos as best as we're able to do so. Two different perspectives. I tend to show a lot of the stuff that you can pick up at flea markets and garage sales and that kind of thing. Generally tend to be lower price items with stuff that you really can find generally. Mr. Magazine tries to show us things that you hope to find out there.
Sometimes.
If you can find the stuff he's showing, you had a great day out there. So do comment down below that hopefully you found all the stuff he's showing. Right. What are you showing us?
Let's see what we got today. This would have been a great investment 20 years ago. It was $19.99 price tag.
Oh, wow.
I took a $200...
Pokemon Topps TV Animation Edition Factory. So
they're not the regular gaming cards. These are just Topps character cards.
Oh, but they are cards. Okay.
Yep. So yeah, I took a $200 offer on it.
Can you, just for the fun of it, can you tell what the price was?
It says $19.99. Oh.
Okay, so $20.
Yep.
So you would have paid $20 back in 1999, and now you could get $200 out of it.
Yeah, I bought a bunch of different tins or different colors, different characters, and they all go for about $200.
So you can make 10 times your money, less fees, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. 10 times your money, or you could have put that $200 in a CD, or $20 in a CD, and had about $22 right now.
Yeah, wow.
Nice.
Very nice. So, but you might be able to find these with the new Pokemon craze. You know, these are coming out of the woodwork, so a lot of the older stuff is available. If people know what they're worth, then you might have to step up to the plate. But
but even stepping up to the plate, if you know you got $200 out of it, somebody might be willing to let it go for $100. I mean, you know, because they're happy for it because they paid $20 on it, and they're I'm making 5 times the money, and they're still leaving money on the table for you.
Yeah,
nice.
Good for them. Their kid never opened it up.
Yeah, right. Well, and I know actually we brought your next item up, but that always, I don't know if you remember, and I'm going to go on a little tangent here for once. I don't know if you remember or not, but years ago, I actually sold you a strawberry shortcake figure on card.
Okay.
And we were talking about that. That one survived because my mother had bought it to give as a gift to my sister and put it away in the, in the closet and had forgotten all about it. And we were talking at that point, how do all these things stay unopened for all these years? I mean, there's some level of, nowadays it's different because you've got collectors that know.
Right.
But you get these unopened things from, even that right there is the 90s, back in the 70s, the 60s.
Crazy.
How did this stuff stay? I guess stores go out of business.
And stay in mint condition, I could throw a new figure in the back of my truck and it could get damaged.
Yeah. So it's amazing. It's just something other that you always kind of wonder when you see some of this stuff that's sealed. Yeah. And you say, how did that survive all these years sealed?
True. Yeah. All right, next up here, Elliott Pinup Art, May 1950 calendar date book. I got some advertising from Fraser.
Oh, wow, that is small, 3 1/4 by 6.
It is very small, yep.
But, that's what she said.
Exactly. Wow, okay, here we go.
$30 of it. Come on, I got to put the little.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
Little humor in there now and then. $30.54.
Yeah.
See, now that's not something that you normally sell.
No, exactly. And it was from a few years ago, so, I didn't pay much. It was thrown into a box. Like I said, it's small. It's a little bigger than a business card, I think, something like that.
Oh, wow,
so, yeah.
So you're moving into my territory now.
Well, I was. This was a few years ago. I'm not anymore.
2016, you were infringing my territory. How dare you? So. That's good to know, though, because, again, it probably sold because of the pinup art. Yeah, and, that's the kind of thing that always sells out there, the good girl art, the pinup art, all that kind of thing. Yeah, so do keep your eyes on that kind of stuff. You'll find the pinups on calendars. This is a little date book, memo book. Yeah. You'll find it on blotters. You'll find it all across the board on various things. And it does sell.
Yeah, very cool.
You got the $30 out of it?
I did, yes.
And the other nice thing about that, which I see, and I don't know if you were experimenting at the time or what, but you had free shipping on it.
I did, because it was small. I think we were doing postcards at the time. We got a bunch of photos and postcards, pin up cheesecake stuff. And I think we just did free across the board because it was so light.
Which is no problem. It costs you $3 to ship that out or whatever, so who cares?
Yeah, no problem. Plus, we finally sold it.
Yeah.
All right. For local Rochesterians, Cal Ripken Jr. Orioles bobblehead. This is from Forever Collectibles, so it's a little fancier porcelain, a little, made a little nicer. I think I took a $50 bid on this one.
And this ties back into, again, the video that I always reference where we talk about knowing your local area.
Yeah.
Now, granted, Cal Ripken at this point was with the Orioles. This was not when he was with the Red Wings. It was purchased, after the fact as a collectible type deal. However, for a long time, the Orioles were the affiliate, or the Rochester Red Wings were the affiliate of the Orioles. So you will find a lot of Cal Ripken stuff around the Rochester area, such as you also find a lot of the Buffalo Bills stuff, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
And you probably are still going to find Baltimore Orioles stuff around Rochester, even though we're now affiliated with the Minnesota Twins. Because
it's funny, you think we are still with the Twins.
We're not? Who are we with now?
We're with Washington.
When did this happen? Maybe I didn't pay attention.
Yeah, Washington Nationals.
Oh, so there will be a total change there. So I guess now we got to look for.
Well, I had a local customer come in and say he went to a game.
Yeah.
He was all excited because his kid's favorite team was the Nationals, and he wanted to buy him a jersey. And they're not selling any Nationals jerseys yet until they sell the old Twins jerseys off.
Oh, geez.
So he was like, I got to wait a year for this, or I got to buy them all out so they can put them on the shelf. So I didn't know either until he told me that. But
that's funny. Yeah. But because so many people, I mean, it's the reason why in Rochester, and whatever your local area is, it'll be like this. Do you know why? Let me ask you this. Do you know why the top 3 teams in Rochester, football-wise, the Bills, up the street, the Giants, New York. Do you know what the 3rd team is and why?
I'm going to say the Steelers.
The Cleveland Browns.
Wow.
Because back in the 1950s and 60s, the Browns were always featured on TV here. And lots of people grew up just watching the Browns, and that's why the Browns have such a big contingent. So around in Rochester, believe it or not, you can find a lot of Browns memorabilia. So that's something to be on the look for in Rochester.
Yeah.
But it's something that happened 50 years ago, 60 years ago, yet your father would have been watching football, watched the Browns, became a Browns fan, then you're a Browns fan because your dad was. So there's a lot of Browns stuff. So there's a lot of Orioles stuff around Rochester.
Right.
So learn what's around your local area, and sometimes even just knowing the reasons why is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Like, why is that popular here? Well, that's the reason why.
Interesting.
See, we're the only show telling you about Rochester 1950s television, without a doubt.
Moving on.
Wow. We need a hook to pull me off stage.
Exactly. Well, just a muzzle's fine. We don't need to pull you off stage. Just give you a muzzle. Anywho, Polaroids by Kelly Klein, Rare Photography. I don't know what's in this book, but I do know I sold it for $80. So I think it's an oversized photography book, but Polaroids from this photographer.
And let me.
And I don't think they have. Let me see that. No.
Let me say something. Limited edition. Let me say something though. I see what they did, and it's really, that almost looks like an old VHS cover, and probably Polaroid film probably looked that way, the packages did. It's eye-catching in a kind of an odd way.
Like something artsy, you think it's artsy, But don't know what's in there. I guess I don't care to know at this point, but got my $80 out.
But it's something rather out there if you happen to see a book like that. I mean, a lot of people probably are going to walk by that book because, again, it doesn't look
so
like
plain,
anything.
right?
Yeah,
exactly. But I think it's oversized, thicker photography book. Yeah, very cool.
Wow.
All right. Lastly, for me, Frankenstein, Castle of Frankenstein magazine. Well, do you see Frankenstein on the cover?
I do not.
I had wished that I guess it didn't matter, it sold for $27, but my lister did not put Star Trek in there, which I don't know why. Maybe he didn't have the room and wanted to put in William Shatner and Leonard Nimoy. Nevertheless, it did sell for close to $30. So.
See, but that's another thing there where, and I think obviously I probably would have put Star Trek as opposed to Star Trek does
Collins
sell too.
Down below too. So
yeah, I probably would have done Dark Shadows Star Trek instead of William Shatner. And again, it did sell, but that just kind of shows that your lister listed it that way, and you didn't give the lister any guidance on it.
Right, correct.
Which isn't a good thing or a bad thing.
Right.
It's just interesting that.
Well, and you even got Frankenstein in the corner. But again, how much stuff can you put up in that top listing as well?
But I think that the lesson to be learned is it did sell, but there are a lot of different ways to sell it, and a lot of different ways. Like I would have said Dark Shadow, Star Trek.
Right.
You might have said Star Trek and something else, Martin Collins, for example.
Right.
And none of them are right or wrong because they all would sell it. Now, obviously, there are wrong ways. Spelling William Shatner wrong or something would be a wrong way to do it. But there's lots of different ways and lots of different ways to get the item sold. So that's...
So generally, in something like this, where he's in his 20s, the lister, so he may not know some of this stuff. Obviously, he knows Star Trek, but he obviously knew to look inside to get Shatner and Nimoy's name if he didn't know it already.
But he would not know who Barnabas Kyle is. There's zero chance.
What I do on this, if I think it's better and I don't want to sell it too cheap, because a lot of stuff he sells for $15 to $20, I think I threw this one at $22. So I'm not going to leave as much money on the table. Maybe it's a $30 magazine. Certainly, I don't think it's a $50 magazine.
Right.
But I figured I got my price because I kept it up there just in case. For example, I would have done Star Trek Dark Shadows. He did it that way.
Yeah.
I didn't get 15. I still got close to 30.
Right, right.
Very happy with that.
Yeah, but again, I think that's a very valuable lesson as well. Yeah. We could go into any person watching this store, and they could go into our store and recommend changes. And do you have bad listings? Yes. Do I have bad listings? Yes. There's no doubt at all about that. Anybody with a lot of listings, legacy listings, is going to have poor listings. I mean, it just happens.
Right.
That being said, I could look at, we could randomly pick 20 items out of your store, and I could give you tweaks on them, and a few of them would definitely be improvements.
Right.
And a few of them would be, I'm not really sure about that. I like the way that I have it listed.
Yeah.
So there are differing opinions on any given list. I mean, obviously, if you've got something or other with, Sharon Tate on the cover, you list Sharon Tate because she always sells.
Right.
I mean, Marilyn Monroe. Yeah, let me not list the blonde on the cover. Let me list Growing Bonsai, which is on page 53. No, obviously that would be a poor listing.
Right.
But leave out obvious things like that. There's a lot of different ways you could list any given thing. And first thing I have over here, you actually saw this in a Bonus Monday video. I picked this up at a flea market, and I even mentioned in it, this was a throw-in.
Nice.
I was buying a couple of boxing programs along with some other stuff from a guy, and he said, "Oh, you're buying the boxing programs? I got these tickets."
Yeah.
And he grabbed a handful of tickets. I've sold every ticket. One went for 10, one went for 20, one went for 24, another one went for 20, and then this went for 35. I think I took on a 40, something or other like that.
Nice.
I picked up over $100 when I spent $30 with the guy on the things he threw in.
Can't argue with that.
That is just the kind of things that happen in real life. You know, the really crazy thing about it is, I spent $30 with the guy. I sold nothing that I bought from him.
Wow.
I made $70 on the throw-ins that he gave me. The things that me, Papergoy, who knows paper, bought, thinking they were good, haven't sold.
Yeah.
So it's just amazing the way the things end up working out. The throw-ins sell and the good stuff doesn't.
Crazy.
Well, the other thing too, and this actually was presented. We do a daily post on YouTube. Do check it out in the community tab. I try to put a different thing up every day that's kind of interesting. I wonder if you could take a look at the face value.
$250. Wow.
This was an unused ticket.
Yeah.
Somebody spent $250 and didn't use the ticket.
Shouldn't they have said boxers of the decade though? Because there's like 12 boxers on there, but that's just me.
Are you going to tell Mr. Trump that he did something wrong?
No.
Trump Plaza. But yeah, $250 is an unused ticket. That's why the other tickets I all priced at $20. This one I priced at $40 because they said you got to shell $250 out for it in the first place.
Yeah, exactly.
Next thing we have over here, The Story of the Airship, Goodyear Zeppelin Blimp, 1931 hardcover book, Hugh Allen. This is available on Amazon for $12 to $15. You can buy this on eBay for about that price as well. Nobody else listed Zeppelin Blimp on it.
Wow.
This is just one of those cases where multiple pictures, because it's kind of a neat little item in there. And they actually did this. This happens to be the 1931 edition. They did like 10 different years of it. So there's like a 22 edition, a 23 edition, et cetera, et cetera. So it's not an uncommon book. But I put up multiple pictures on it, put up the index, table of contents index, and used the keywords. And I ended up getting $28 out of something that everybody else was getting $15 out of. So that shows that pictures and keywords will sell your item. I also believe a lot of other people listed it in the books area. I listed it in the, I believe, the transportation area, airships. The problem with listing it there is you cannot use media mail shipping. Go to PayPal. You can buy shipping labels on PayPal. A lot of people use Pirate Ship. That's also available as well. You can print your media mail shipping out that way, which is the way around the fact that eBay will not allow media on certain categories. The next thing we have here, what is my name?
Your real name?
No, not my real name.
Papergoy.
Papergoy, which means I sell
Paper.
or goys, one or the other, correct?
Yeah.
Typewriter paper. I'm moving into the paper. I actually put this up at auction. I take offers on auction. I got a $30 offer on it, and I took it.
Nice.
It's literally typewriter paper. Now, apparently somebody had a letter they needed to get out. The one does have onion skin, so it's really nice paper. I think the thing that sold it was probably the bands, but if you take a look, the one band has a lot of writing on it as well.
Maybe someone's a good counterfeiter, and they're going to use the old paper for old counterfeiting.
Until the FBI shows up at my door and wants to know.
I watch white collar episodes. All right.
When the FBI shows up at my door and wants to know why I'm selling this stuff to them, it was on eBay. I swear I knew nothing.
Exactly.
But these are the kind of things that you can actually find out there. And this was a throw-in on a deal. I just kind of saw it and knew it had a bands on it. I don't know if all the pages of paper were there or not. I didn't count them up. Somebody could have slipped a piece or two out. I just said, most of the paper's there, I think. Kind of neat kind of item that a lot of people would not deal with. Right. Because. Sure. So it's kind of neat. Another item I had here, I do tend to specialize in paper. I did pick this up. I paid $2 at a flea market for it. Didn't go for a crazy amount of money, but I was buying paper items off the guy and it caught my eye. It's a Pope Paul VI metal pendant. $20. I ended up taking the $20 out of it. It's, I don't know how big that is, about the size of a $50, maybe a little bit bigger than $50. But again, I was buying other items off of him, dealing with him anyway, and I saw it and I said, hey, how much is that? And I just, $2. I probably was buying $8 worth of stuff out of me. Probably said, I'd make it $2, make it $10 total. Once in a while, I do deal in things that are outside paper that just catch my eye. So don't be afraid to pick something other like that up. You can tell by my price, 2020. I bought it in 2020. So I bought it last year. Took about 6 months to sell probably with the flea markets. Got $20 out of a $2 throw-in type item. Can't argue with that whatsoever. Next item we have here, New York Jazz Festival Program 1966, Dizzy Gillespie, Lou Rawls, Red Fox. It's the big one, Elizabeth. Coming to join you. I'm hoping to play.
I wish you would join her.
Well, I'm hoping to play Fred Sanford if they ever remake it for Netflix. Have them call my agent and we'll be all set. Kind of a neat item though, because I am amazed at how cheap people sell jazz programs. Items like this people sell for $20 all day long. I ended up taking $50 on it. And the person said, I'm only making a $50 offer because if you read my description, there's a lot of writing inside of it.
Right.
It's got a lot of extraneous writing in it. I'll give you $50. So, fine, I paid $5 for it, $3 for it, something like that. I'm more than happy taking the $50 on it.
Sure.
But this is one of those things. Tough to find a lot of those programs. Do not follow other people in the pricing on it. Ask higher on it. Put a lot of pictures up. Stress why it's such a good program. Multiple pictures there. I mean, look at the all the different acts there. Just a great program, but other people were selling it cheap. Programs like that cheap. Don't do that. The next thing we have here, who is a major department store retailer that went out of business within the last couple of years? Craftsman Tools. They sold... Sears. I had a catalog from them.
Okay, cool.
Almost. The Rears and Robust mail order catalog, 1940. Somebody actually took the time, and she is a looker on the cover, isn't she? Somebody actually took the time to make a parody comedy type deal. I think I took $60 on it because it had been listed for 3 years. Kind of a neat little thing, though. A lot of fun to read through. Just a lot of joke articles in there, like, Sears might be selling this kind of tool. This was a takeoff on this other kind of tool. Just kind of a neat little thing there, but nice little laugh there on Rears and Robust. And the last item I have today is something or other. We've talked in the past about I'm trying to pivot over to some original art. This is something or other that caught my eye when I was at a heritage auction, and I ended up buying it. It was in a lot of other things, and I thought this would sell, and I ended up getting really close to my price. I sent an offer to the buyer, so whatever this shows, I took 21% less than this on it.
Okay.
But I think I paid $70 for 5 pieces of art from this comic strip. But Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Combat, and so 144, 20% off of that. I took like $110. I got more out of this one item than I paid for the entire lot of 5. And we've talked before about how that's what it actually looks like. Well, I did, the zoom in definitely looks a lot better. No doubt at all about it.
Yeah.
But when I saw it, I said, people collect. They love the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
This is a one-of-a-kind piece. Granted, it's not authorized because it's a satire parody type deal. Turtle Combat. But it's sold. And the other nice thing about it is the person bought a second item from that comic strip deal as well, and I think they paid $40 or $50 for that as well.
Nice.
So I basically doubled my money off of 2 out of 5 pieces out of the lot. Just a nice little piece, though, but do use the zoom in. I mean, you'll admit that sold it a lot better than that would.
Absolutely.
No doubt at all about it. So hopefully that helps you some, gives you some ideas on some things to be doing out there. And do comment down below. I always forget to say that. Hit the like button, comment down below. We do answer all comments, and hopefully you found some things in here that are a little bit interesting and will help you. Typewriter paper, who knew?
Exactly.
We'll see you next video.
Take care, bye-bye.